and the 2001 Italian Grand Prix is underway. 13 laps, and what have we done? Half a lap, and Panis, I mean, it looks like he's going to win the Grand Prix already. Maybe it'll be Villeneuve, maybe there could be some team orders coming into play, but look at that. I've never seen, I mean, that is the most apparent difference in straight line we've seen this series. The British-American racing team, and in fact, well, the words were taken out of my mouth. I was about to say that Panis is going to pass Marquez, but then I got stopped because Villeneuve has just passed. Well, never mind Villeneuve passing Panis, Jacques Villeneuve has also passed Marquez. I mean, if there was ever a guy who's going to make a challenge, a genuine challenge, for the Drivers' Championship, it's going to be Villeneuve. Still coming out of the Ascari chicane side by side, but now it's a level playing field, apart from the fact that Villeneuve, he's got the more powerful engine. Jacques Villeneuve is leading the 2001 Italian Grand Prix. He's doing everything right. He's winning the Grand Prix. He overtook his teammate. He's pulled away from him. He's setting the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Panis has just about passed Fernando Alonso. Frentzen really has not done all that well. He's in 8th. So, in fact, this could be the same podium, albeit in a different order, as we saw at the Hockenheim Grand Prix. This is what he had to do, and he's done it. He had to beat his teammate, he had to beat Heinz-Harald Frentzen, and he did it comprehensively. Jacques Villeneuve has won the 2001 Italian Grand Prix. Right then guys, it's PSL here, and I'm here for part 16 in my reverse grid race series here on Formula 1 2001. And we're here for the American Grand Prix around Indianapolis. So let's take a look at the starting grid, and the front row is made up of Tarso Marquez and Gaston Mazzacane. Even though by this point in the season in real life, because the driver lineup was completely different from the start of the season to the end of the season. So in real life it was actually Alex Young and Thomas Enger, which actually did cause me some confusion because I almost put Mazzacane and Alesi round the wrong way, because of course Alesi in the game is now Frentzen in real life and Mazzacane's Enger, and it just confused me briefly. But then again, I believe there are some versions of the game, it might even be the American release, where some of the driver transfers have been put in. I believe there are some versions of the game where Frentzen is driving for Prost and Alesi's driving for Jordan. But certainly in the original European release, it's how the driver lineup started. And anyway, we've got Luciano Berti in 7th, and in fact he is Pedro Della Rosa by this point in real life. Now Luciano Berti might score some points. I mean, Luciano Berti, he has been the worst driver this series. In real life, Berti might have been an alright driver, but in this series, purely in this series, Luciano Berti has been dreadful. I mean, he scored 1 point at the start of the season, and he's done nothing since. On my phone, I've got a document of best finishes. Luciano's best finish, apart from the one time where he scored a point, apart from then, his best finish has been 15th place. And that was only at the Monaco Grand Prix, where loads of people retired. And in fact, Luciano Berti didn't really have much of a car left by the end of it anyway, so the fact he was still running was a surprise. But anyway, the main focus is Jacques Villeneuve. Now, Jacques Villeneuve, of course, he's on the offensive. He's going for the Drivers' Championship. Now, he needs, in the remaining 2 races, he needs to win one of them and finish 3rd in one of them. But with Jacques Villeneuve, I mean, let's not forget, it's Indianapolis, this track, it's dead easy to overtake. Long straights, the BAR, it's got the power thanks to its Honda engine. Jacques Villeneuve should win this Grand Prix, or certainly it's going to be easier for him to win this Grand Prix than it will be at Suzuka, where it's more difficult to overtake and he's starting further back. Although I think he will still be starting in about 9th place. So, Villeneuve, he needs to realistically, to win the Drivers' Championship, he needs to win this race. The Constructors' Championship, if Villeneuve wins this Grand Prix, BAR, they will take the lead in the Constructors' Championship, because BAR currently, they're only 7 points behind Benetton. A race win from either Villeneuve or Panis, BAR will suddenly be leading the Constructors' Championship, because of course Benetton, unfortunately by this point in the season in real life, they bought too many upgrades, they got too quick, and unfortunately for them, their qualifying positions were too good for this Grand Prix in real life, so they're starting quite a fair way back, so the chances of Benetton scoring points is slim. The chances of at least one BAR driver scoring points is very high. So all eyes will be on Jacques Villeneuve. But anyway, I'll hand you over to Murray Walker for the remainder of the qualifying positions. And actually, this Grand Prix in real life is quite a significant one, because this Grand Prix is the final ever Grand Prix that Murray Walker commentated on in Formula 1. So, with that in mind, I'll hand you over to Murray Walker to take you through the remainder of the qualifying positions in real life for one last time, but in this series, on this channel probably, for the second to last time.
Welcome to the magnificent Indianapolis Raceway. There's an electric atmosphere as America can once again appreciate the speed and thrills of Grand Prix racing on its home soil. All the teams are well fired up. In second position, we see Gaston Mazzacane. In third, Jos Verstappen. Fourth position for Benoldi. On the third row in fifth position is Jacques Villeneuve. In sixth position, Alonso. In seventh position is Luciano Berti. Jean Alesi, eighth. Eddie Irvine in ninth. It's 10th place for Panis. Giancarlo Fisichella is in 11th place. Kimi Räikkönen is in 12th. Jenson Button is in 13th. 14th place for Heinz-Harald Frentzen. In 15th spot we have Jarno Trulli. 16th for David Coulthard. Nick Heidfeld takes up 17th place. 18th position for Rubens Barrichello. In 19th spot is Mika Häkkinen. 20th is Juan Pablo Montoya. On to the back of the grid now, and in 21st place we have Ralf Schumacher. And last but not least on the grid is Michael Schumacher.
Thanks again, Murray. So we got Jos Verstappen in third, Mazzacane second, Tarso Marquez starting from pole position as the 2001 American Grand Prix is underway. Now Marquez off to a decent start, but of course he's only powered by a Ford engine. Alongside him he's got Gaston Mazzacane, who's being powered by a much more powerful Ferrari engine and heading towards the first corner. And there you have it, Gaston Mazzacane is leading the 2001 American Grand Prix. So Mazzacane's in first, Marquez second, Benoldi has passed Jos Verstappen. I remember the days when Jos Verstappen, he was a Drivers' Championship contender, he was a race winner, he's now been beaten by Benoldi, but let's not forget Benoldi is actually the most recent Arrows driver to have won a race. He won the Belgian Grand Prix unbelievably, just beating Jarno Trulli, and that was a dramatic race. And Benoldi, he's right up behind Tarso Marquez, effectively side by side. Now it's all going to come down to braking for this corner, and they're still side by side, Benoldi and Marquez, into the really tight, twisty, low speed section. Marquez is still in second place. Mazzacane, he's opened up a slight advantage as we're now coming up towards the long double right-hander, which is essentially the banking to head towards the start-finish straight. And Marquez, unfortunately, this is just going to be one of those Grand Prix where he'll just be moving backwards. But then again, I said the same thing about the Italian Grand Prix, and Fernando Alonso was able to score a few points in the same car. So there you go. I mean, really, this series, you just cannot predict this series, especially as Marquez, it looks like he's slightly catching up to Benoldi there, but he hasn't quite, no. So, just a recap, Mazzacane's leading, Benoldi's in second, Marquez third, Verstappen fourth, Alesi is in fifth, but where's Jacques Villeneuve? He's in seventh. Jacques Villeneuve has dropped positions from the start. Now, he needs, realistically, Häkkinen. And Hakkinen, he's another driver who's disappointing at the moment. He's almost in last. But Jacques Villeneuve, realistically speaking, he needs to win this Grand Prix. Effectively, mathematically, he needs to finish at least third to keep his Drivers' Championship hopes alive. He's in 7th, he's coming under threat from two other Honda-powered cars, including his teammates. So Villeneuve, off to a dreadful start, but all hope certainly isn't lost for the time being. Wow, and already Ralf Schumacher is out of the Grand Prix, apparently. How very strange indeed. Well, anyway, just a few seconds after I cut away, Jacques Villeneuve took 6th place from Fernando Alonso. So Villeneuve, he's moving up the field. And Jacques Villeneuve, I think he's passed Tarso Marquez in exactly the same way as he passed Fernando Alonso a lap ago. So there you go, before they even really got to the banking, Villeneuve was ahead. And I wish there was a speedometer. I really wish there was, because I would love to know the difference in top speed, or even just a graphic displaying the speed trap, because I would love to know the difference in speeds between, let's say, the BAR and the Minardi, or even just the BAR and Jean Alesi, who's now ahead in 4th place. Verstappen is in 3rd, Bernoldi 2nd, Mazzacane 1st. Really, they're all quite close, to be honest. So Jacques Villeneuve, it's not like at some Grand Prix where the leader has just pulled off into the distance. The Hungarian Grand Prix, for example, where Jos Verstappen did that. So Villeneuve, there is certainly enough laps, enough time, plenty of overtaking opportunities. Speaking of which, I think Jacques Villeneuve, he's just about to get past Jean Alesi. And I think he's going to do the exact same overtaking move that he's done on the past 2 laps. Well, no. Yeah, he is going to do exactly the same move, which is going to be just before they get to the banking. The right-hander around it, he'll have the inside line. And there you go. That's the 3rd lap in a row now he's done that overtake. Jacques Villeneuve still side by side with Jos Verstappen, but Verstappen, he's run wide, and Villeneuve, he's got the straight line speed advantage. And there you go, Jacques Villeneuve up into 3rd place. And oh, actually, that was a good move from Jos Verstappen, but it's just the same exact setup which we've seen the past several laps. Here you go, it's the right-hander. Villeneuve's got the inside line, although actually it looks like Villeneuve was almost getting blocked in there by Bernoldi. Yeah, that almost was the case, but either way, Jacques Villeneuve, he's up into 3rd place. I don't think he'll quite be able to get past Bernoldi down the start-finish straight, because strangely, we haven't seen any overtakes down the start-finish straight, which is technically true, because Alesi did sort of an IndyCar-styled pass higher up on the banking, but there you go, Jean Alesi is now in 3rd place, unless Verstappen has something to say about it. Oh, this is something which could be raging on for a long time now, but either way... Oh no, sorry, that's the battle for 4th place between Alesi and Verstappen. Villeneuve's in 3rd, Bernoldi 2nd, Mazzacane 1st. So, mathematically, Villeneuve, where he is now, he is still in contention for the Drivers' Championship, heading into the final Grand Prix of this season around Suzuka. Actually, things are starting to really derail for Jacques Villeneuve. As we saw there on that TV graphic, Villeneuve, he's quicker than Bernoldi, but yet he still hasn't been able to find a way past. And I think what's happening is something which happens quite a lot in this game. It seems to me that drivers, they either prioritise defending or overtaking. And if they prioritise defending, they just never overtake anyone. Basically, what I'm saying is they seem to have 2 mindsets. And if they prioritise overtaking, that's the good thing. Because, well, for example, remember the Hungarian Grand Prix where Hakkinen failed to pass Jean Alesi, but he was able to pass Villeneuve. That sort of strange split mentality. That's exactly what is going on here, because Villeneuve, he seems to be concentrating so much on defending from Verstappen, because Verstappen time and time again seems to be quite an aggressive or offensive, more overtaking minded driver, and Villeneuve, he's too busy trying to defend from Verstappen. But then again, Verstappen has got a decent record. But either way, finally, Jacques Villeneuve, he has broken into second place finally. So, there you go. Realistically, as far as the Drivers' or even Constructors' Championship is concerned, the difference between third place and second place is minimal, to be honest, but certainly now Villeneuve getting past a moving roadblock that is Boddy is good, because Villeneuve, he's now only one position away from taking the lead of the American Grand Prix. And there you go, Jacques Villeneuve. I wasn't expecting him to make the move at this part of the circuit, the sort of back straight in the middle of the track, but he's done it. He's got past Mazzacane. But anyway, Villeneuve once again never fails to surprise me, and Jacques Villeneuve, regardless of how he's taken the race lead, it doesn't matter. The fact is he's now leading the Grand Prix. He should be able to comfortably win it, and certainly, if the race ends like this, which it probably will do considering there's no mechanical failures in this game, certainly in the spectator mode of this game, because of that, we've got a very exciting championship finale lined up for the final race of the season in Japan around Suzuka. And that is a wonderful move high up on the banking from Olivier Panis to be able to pass the Arrows driver of Jos Verstappen to take 4th place in this American Grand Prix. And BAR, it's taken them a little while to get going this Grand Prix, but finally British American Racing, they finally got into gear, and Panis, well, 4th place could soon be a double podium for BAR this race, who knows. For the British American Racing team, who knows, it could even be a 1-2 at the American Grand Prix. And Olivier Panis heading towards the first corner side by side with Gaston Mazzacane. It is so close, but Panis, he has been on top form ever since Jacques Villeneuve took the lead of the Grand Prix. Panis has just been on the offensive, and every single overtaking move he has made has stuck. And there you go, Olivier Panis is currently 2nd in this American Grand Prix. It is a BAR, a British American Racing 1-2 here in Indianapolis. Well, unbelievably, we're already on the final lap of the Grand Prix, seemingly. And here's both Ferraris, and they're nearly in the points position, amazingly. They're in 8th and, well, they were 8th and 9th. And also, yes, this Jaguar driver is Eddie Irvine. Luciano Berti, I said he's been dreadful this series, and he's been god-awful, by far and away the worst driver this series. Starting 7th, he's all the way down there. I'm pretty certain he's got the worst programming. Like, he's been programmed to be the worst driver in this game. I'm certain of it, because Bertie's been beyond dreadful, even compared to Eddie Irvine. But anyway, coming round the final corner, coming round the banking for this American Grand Prix, and Jacques Villeneuve, he's done exactly what he needed to do. He's won the Italian Grand Prix, and he's going to come across the line to win the American Grand Prix for British American Racing. So there you go, Jacques Villeneuve, he's won the American Grand Prix around Indianapolis, and in fact, it is a 1-2 for British American Racing here in Indianapolis. And Mazzacane, amazingly, even though the Ferraris were starting to come into play, even Heinz-Harald Frentzen, despite that, Gaston Mazzacane finished 3rd this American Grand Prix. I don't quite know who was 4th. I'm being led to believe it was Frentzen, who just... well, I don't know. I don't know who finished 4th. We'll find out when the race results come up. But, I mean, Michael Schumacher, he's in the points position now. I don't know whether he was when he crossed the line, but Michael Schumacher, this would be amazing, because I don't think Schumacher... I mean, the last time I can remember Schumacher doing anything high up the field was the French Grand Prix. And even then, before that, the Spanish Grand Prix. And in fact, if you look at the race results, Michael Schumacher just about finished in 6th place. He beat Jean Alesi by 0.04 of a second. So what an exciting American Grand Prix, courtesy largely of the British American Racing team. And Jacques Villeneuve and Olivier Panis, actually both BAR drivers, did very well this Grand Prix, made a lot of overtakes. And certainly if you take both BAR drivers out of the equation, the race suddenly becomes a lot duller, because Frentzen didn't really achieve a great deal until the end of the race once the BARs had gone off into the distance. Actually, much like the Italian Grand Prix, Frentzen was the worst of the Honda engine runners, which is a stark contrast to the German Grand Prix where Frentzen wiped the floor with them. Mazzacane did surprisingly well. Yes, he's got a Ferrari engine, but he's still only in a Prost, so he's still not in a quick car by any means, and to hold the final podium position, 3rd place, that is quite an achievement, so congratulations to him, just about beating Frentzen, Verstappen, and Michael Schumacher just about sneaking in the final point. Ferrari were a team on the decline, they really were. Ferrari, it looked like they were going to be beaten by the likes of Minardi, Prost, and Jordan. And while that still may very well be the case, at least it's not a dead horse. Ferrari, they are still just about going, and Ferrari proving there is still life in the old horse yet. Mika Hakkinen though, he started further up than Michael Schumacher. In fact, I think he started further up than both Ferraris. And where did he finish? Quite a bit further down. He finished in 13th place, and Mika Hakkinen, the only F1 driver not to have scored a point so far this season. Even Luciano Berti has. So on to the Drivers' Championship, and look at the top of it. Finally, someone is close to Jenson Button. In fact, I think this is the first time that someone is actually close to the leader since Michael Schumacher, to be honest. I remember the days towards the start of this series when Michael Schumacher was a Drivers' Championship contender during the first half of the season. And then Jenson Button finally overtook Schumacher, and Michael Schumacher hasn't scored any points since. In fact, actually, while I'm on the topic of Michael Schumacher, I don't know how many races Michael Schumacher has been stuck on 25 points, but he has finally moved off of that points total. He's on 26 points. Jacques Villeneuve is now only 4 points behind Jenson Button. 4 points. That's a 3rd place finish, and let's not forget, if Jacques Villeneuve, if he finishes in 3rd for the Japanese Grand Prix, they'll be tied on points, but not by number of race wins, but by the number of 2nd place finishes. Jacques Villeneuve will win the Drivers' Championship. But it's not going to be easy. It's Suzuka, it's quite a narrow track, a tight, twisty track. In the battle for 3rd place in the Drivers' Championship, amazingly someone has overtaken Jos Verstappen. Now let's not forget, Jos Verstappen, this second half of this season, he has been phenomenal. But someone who's been phenomenal on quite a few occasions, he's been more consistently good, is Olivier Panis. And Panis is now 3rd in the Drivers' Championship on 40 points. However, Verstappen could still take 3rd place back in the Drivers' Championship. There's only 2 points between them, and let's not forget, it's the Japanese Grand Prix, once again another track where it's difficult to overtake. The chances of Panis scoring points is slim, the chances of Verstappen scoring points is high. Below that, Frentzen fakes to finishing 4th this Grand Prix. He's overtaken Jean Alesi, so there you go, those two, they've finally been split. But yeah, Jean Alesi certainly got the raw deal going to Jordan towards the end of the season. It's either way, Frentzen has come out good out of it, because every decent finish he's had has been thanks to either Alesi or Ricardo Zonta. But either way, Frentzen, he's overtaken Alesi, Alonso and Ralf Schumacher. And then the only other change is that Gaston Mazzacane, he's overtaken my beloved Tarso Marquez. Marquez, the only reason I like him is because he's a Minardi driver, but still, Mazzacane, to be fair, Mazzacane has done quite well these past few Grand Prix. The Belgian Grand Prix, Mazzacane was easily the most interesting driver there. And this Grand Prix, Mazzacane did alright. 3rd place, Mazzacane. So, there you go. He's overtaken Tarso Marquez. And finally, onto the Constructors' Championship. And BAR, certainly without a shadow of a doubt, the team of the season. Honestly, BAR fully deserved to win the Constructors' Championship. If it was up to me and I had to hand it to a team, I would give it to BAR anyway. They fully deserve it. I mean, they're nearly on triple figure points. And that shows just how phenomenal they've been in this reverse grid race series. A series with a set of rules designed to equalise the field. And you know, for BAR, a midfield team, to despite that, overcome that and come out on top with triple figure points, they've done alright. It is still entirely possible that Ferrari could drop at least one position in the Constructors' Championship. I would say it is entirely possible that they're going to finish in the bottom half. I mean, there's got to be at least one team that's going to beat them, surely. It's Suzuka, Minardi, Prost. They're going to have cars starting towards the front, and even then, Jordan in recent races have shown that they're more likely to score points than Ferrari. So, Ferrari, they're 5th in the Constructors' Championship for the time being, but the old horse, the biggest name in Formula 1, they might be beaten by Minardi, Prost, Jordan, all privateer teams. But anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, be sure to leave a like, comment down below, and next time it is the Japanese Grand Prix around Suzuka. So, the Constructors' Championship is effectively done. The Drivers' Championship is still out in the open. Jacques Villeneuve, he's got the better starting position, the better car, and the better previous form. He's won the past 2 Grand Prix. He just needs to finish 3rd. Tricky, but doable, and if there's any track which can produce an exciting finale, it's Suzuka.